I do some change of scenery today. The wall you normally stare at is to your left. To my left. Your right. So, just like me, say that I'm gonna release a video tomorrow or the next day, and 2 or 3 weeks go by and I still haven't uploaded it. Sorry, whenever I promise to do things, it gets delayed and stuff happens, like math chapter 4 test, project, and then midterm, all in 3 days. So that happened last weekend, so I didn't have any time to film the things that I wanted to do, but this weekend I'm pretty free. So I'm going to show you the second sword in hopefully a 3-sword lineup that I've been doing from Sword Art Online. So now your bets will be affirmed whether I did Dark Repulser or Lambent Light. And alright, here it is. Boom! Lambent Light. Really cool sword. Although it is a girl's sword, I'm just making all 3 of them just because. And this one is still a pretty, like, awesome sword. It's really, I guess you could say elegant. It's like it's really light and quick, and it's one of my best pieces to date. So actually, I think it is my best piece to date. So yeah, how I made this was pretty much everything on this sword is custom fabricated in one way or another. The guard on Lambent Light is kind of like a dome shape. Like maybe I was thinking about making, like, getting one of those giant Easter eggs and then cutting out a section of it for that top piece. But actually what I did was, I like I said, everything's basically custom fabricated on this sword. I took 2 pieces of PVC, put them inside each other, and then glued them together, and then sanded it down to make like a sloping curve. And I did it pretty evenly, and then I primed it, sanded down so that the primer filled in all the gaps and stuff. So it's pretty smooth and it's like glossy and shiny now. And then I added on these wings right here. They're actually separate, just kind of grafted on there. The handle actually turned on a lathe. This is like my first or second experience with a lathe. I turned it all by myself from a dowel. I think it was a poplar dowel or something. Then I had to cut it in half down the length of it, and then kind of sand down the tang and sand down the insides of this thing, and then glue it back on. And it's really nice. It feels really comfortable in the hand. Nice palm swell. The blade is made out of I think it's a 3 by 1/4 inch, 3 inch by 1/4 inch by I don't even know how long this is. Maybe like 4 foot long section of poplar wood, and then I just kind of eyeballed it and got it pretty exactly. I mean, I used a template, but then after that I just eyeballed it and like sanded it down where it needed to be, and then finally got it to this like toothpick sharpness. So after that I was having trouble getting the beaded trim on this. I'm like, how am I going to do that? I tried like hot glue for this thing and it didn't really work out, so I didn't want to do that again, like mess up this awesome sword. So what I ended up doing is find some old computer cable, like from, I think it was from an old keyboard, and then I cut it in half so it was just like kind of a tube, but only half of it, and then I super glued it all around here, and it actually curved really well to make that loop and stuff. Not the thin ones. The thin ones I used some like earbud cord. And then I covered it with a tinfoil tape and cut it back so it looked like beaded trim, and it's really sweet. Looks like it's from a Cadillac or something. And so this like collar piece, what's that called? This the ricasso or something. That's what it's called. The unsharpened part of the blade is called the ricasso. And for that I used a clipboard, like one of those plastic clipboards, and I traced out the shape of like the entire thing, like this plus this piece plus this piece, which made it look kind of like an arch with weird things on the side. And then I heated it up with a propane torch and then bent it over this thing to make that cool symmetrical thingamadoodle thing. You can see that in the intro. It's black, and then I painted it. And then I used hot glue to make the trim on the outsides of it, which I kind of regret because it kind of looks like crap now. But his sword is overall still really cool. And for the back, I actually left this this ridge, and then I used a paint pen, a silver paint pen, to do the back, and then like more of the tinfoil tape to do the trim right there. And then I also cut out some, I think they're crosses or swords from tinfoil tape, and I put those on the other side. And those river rock gems that you get from like those little bags at like Michael's or what's another craft store, I don't know. And then you just glue those in there. And like I said, I use earbud cord covered in tinfoil tape for those tiny little decoration pieces. And for these like celery stalk things, that's what I call them. They look really nice, and what I used for that was just more of the clipboard. I cut them out with the bandsaw, and they're perfectly symmetrical. I even placed them like identically on the blade, which is, I'm pretty surprised that I had the presence of mind to do that, because I always just slap it on, and I always have a good side of my swords and a really bad side, but this sword is like perfect on every way. On every front, it's perfect. So that's the sword. I also made another like accessory for this sword, which I will show you now. I made this Immortal object plaque, which I just cut out of I think some kind of piece of scrap wood. Then used the router table to make the router edges, and then I cut a dowel in half lengthwise and glued it, like flipped it inside out and glued it on either end, and like used finishing nails or brads to nail it from the back in. I also, I don't think you can see it all that well, but I etched a piece of plexiglass from the back with a Dremel tool to make the Immortal object in the exact same font that it is in the show. And then I used super glue the plaque down. That's why he's kind of splotchy in some places, and you can't really see the top of the R. But it's fine. And so what that actually is, it's a sword stand. So let me zoom back out here. So this part of the sword, this like neck right here, it fits perfectly into this thing. And that's how you hold the sword. I kind of based it off of the Master Sword plaque that I got when I got my Master Sword. It still has the same kind of like routed edges, and then it holds the Master Sword like that. So I wanted to make like a dual-purposed thing. It's a sword holder and an Immortal object plaque. So that's my Lambent light sword. I guess I'll move on to Dark Repulser next chance I get. But I also have a couple video ideas lined up in my head, so when I have time I think I'll do those. In the meantime, see you later.